You found the Laid Off Lads podcast, where three average guys from Central Florida discuss anything but average topics and have all the time to do it.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Laid Off Lads podcast. Well, I mean, the name kind of speaks for itself. All three of the guys who we're going to introduce here in just a second are all laid off currently. We were all laid off and decided to start something that just makes people laugh, have a bit of fun, and I don't know, just be ourselves. One of the laid off lads, yeah, exactly. One of the laid off lads who just actually commented is Mr. Phil.
What's up, everyone? Appreciate the follow, appreciate the listen. Y'all have been fantastic up until right now. Yes, my name is Phil. I was currently employed at my last employer for 7 years. Born and raised, not here.
What do you mean by not
I was
here?
born in St. Louis. I was born in St. Louis, but I've lived in like Orlando for 20 years. Is it 2021 now?
I don't think I ever knew you were born in St. Louis.
I don't either. This is news to us.
Why do you think I'm a Rams fan? I've explained this to you several times.
You're a bandwagoner.
Well, yeah, and I thought your dad was a fan, so you were just like, or no, your dad's
My
a fan of
papa's
the Pack.
He's a Packers fan.
Yeah.
My brother's an Eagles fan just because he's a
Hey, I didn't know that either.
yeah.
Shout out to Brandon.
Okay, yeah. The investment group, yeah. But no, yeah, I'm a Rams fan because I was born in St. Louis, but unfortunately they jumped ship. Well, I guess they didn't jump ship because they came from LA, but back in LA, so that's why I'm a Rams fan. But anyways, yeah, born in St. Louis, but I've lived here now, Orlando, 27 years. So I have been employed by Orlando-based companies for 27 years.
Thank you, Phil, for that elaborate explanation of why you are a Rams fan.
Well, you wanted to know, so you didn't know I was born in St. Louis. You should have known that.
I feel like I don't know. I forgot.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Mr. Boyce.
Yes, that is me. Boyce, Chris Boyce. I'm currently unemployed. It's like an AA meeting. My name is Chris.
It is.
I'm unemployed. I've been unemployed for 6 months. I just got my 6-month chip for being unemployed.
Attaboy.
Yeah, after 27 years with the company I formerly worked for.
Jeez.
Longest still has been in Orlando.
And a Rams fan.
Yes, and a Rams fan. I've been a Philly fan since birth, born and raised just on the outskirts of northern Philadelphia. I was laid off 6 months ago, like I said.
So from Philadelphia, you're just an automatic.
All around. That's, yeah.
Oh, well, we all know that.
Scumbag. Philly scumbags. Damn proud of it.
Official name?
That's it. Official name. How about you,
I
Ferris?
feel like if they ever did go through a name change, they should go to the Scumbags.
I
They
don't
should
know if you-
absolutely choose the Philly Scumbags.
Do you follow Barstool Sports?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a whole line of sweatshirts and hats with scumbags on it, with the Eagles font, but the A in scumbags is a heart.
I'm surprised it's not your
I
background.
love that.
Green screen.
Yeah, I've got to order it, but it's.
I love that. As a Tampa Bay boy, born and raised in Clearwater, we the Eagles, the Flyers, everything but the Phillies. We really don't like Philadelphia teams that much. I don't know if you guys knew this, but I used to live in Clearwater, where the Phillies spring trained, which they still do nowadays. But their old stadium, we could walk there. We would walk across the tracks. No. Well, that's where they're at now.
Oh, okay.
It was Jack Russell Stadium. It was in like the heart of like Clearwater by the National Guard area. And it was this old stadium, but they would spring train there every year and we would just walk to the games. So it was super awesome. So I've always kind of been a Phillies fan prior to the Rays coming into existence in the late to mid 90s. But Clearwater, born and raised. My name is Michael Ferris. It is, I've been laid off since October, so I don't know how many months that exactly is. So I have my
Yeah, we didn't really count.
Was it
Fun
4
fact, but yeah,
months?
Ferris and I got laid off on the same exact day.
Yeah.
Same exact day
So
we
I
got
have
laid
my
off.
4-month
So
chip,
that's
I guess.
It was,
I was
October 7th. October 7th was
so
the day.
November, December. So we're not even
This
at.
is months. Let them go.
Rookies, man. You're rookies at this.
Oh, so we're not even at 4 months. So I have like my 2 and a. No, I have my 3-month chip.
Yeah, we're at 3 months.
Dang, I thought it was longer than that. It certainly seemed longer than that. But I was with the company for 16 years. And so not quite as long as Boyce, but a good length of time that Phil's been a Rams fan. I have been at my former employment.
Both of these lovely gentlemen used to be my bosses.
At one point in time.
At one point in time, yeah. Ferris is the one who hired me.
But
about your boss?
Well, I did, but Phil, you got to tell the story real quick about how you first interviewed with me.
You're such I knew right away you're going to bring that up. You were such Okay, so yes, there is a lovely story on how I did manage to get a position under Mr. Ferris here. I'll just cut right to the chase. That I was so excited that I wanted to work for him that I showed up to my interview one day early, dressed and ready to go. Made a long walk to the interview location, and then had a very, very long walk back of the walk of shame. I wasn't proud of it, and this was my first time ever meeting Ferris, and what an impression! A great first impression.
It was funny because I had just gone to the bathroom and come out, and we had been doing interviews for a majority of the day, and I knew who we were interviewing next. And I walk out and I said, "Oh, hi, Phil." And he goes, "Hey, how are you?" I said, "Good." I said, "What you here for?" And he goes, "For my interview with you." And he kind of gives me like a, "Duh, you're going to interview me." And I went, "Oh, no, I know, but that's tomorrow." And you had the face of like, mother. Like, I did not know that, because at the time you weren't like in a position to where you could just show up to the interview and not like you had to change out of clothes to look nice. And I could tell that you had like walked and it was hot out and you had like tried to do the best you could. And I went, "Well, sorry, man. I'll see you tomorrow."
That was going to be my question. Obviously, you've got your interview wear, what you're going to wear to the interview. So did you dress up in the same thing the next day? Or did you have to pick an entirely different interview outfit?
Knowing me, I probably picked an entirely different outfit. I can't remember that far back, but yeah, I was in the position to where you would get to work and you would change it to your work clothes. And so I was overly excited, had people covering my half of the work and whatnot. So I could go to this lovely interview, and showed up and nope. But hey, still got the job. So I just always preach to people, find creative ways to make a great first impression.
My first impression of you. Oh, we won't go into that.
Here we go again. You all are just firing all cylinders
later
right
pod. Let's say
we'll save that for a later pod. My first impression of Phil.
Yes, because that was, we could have some stories on that one. But Phil, what I will say to kind of wrap that up is you had one of the most genuine interviews I think I've ever sat across from somebody at that time there. I could tell you were just an honest person. And a lot of times in interviews, we're not looking for the yearbook answer. We're not looking for the answer that we want to hear. We want to find out who you are. And that's something that you did show. And I could tell that you were a genuine person with some good morals. So that is why at that time you got hired.
And how wrong you were.
And now we're all Adolf, so it really doesn't matter.
And now we're all great friends. Yeah, here we go.
Well, as you have all been hearing, this is going to be a audible mess of a journey that we are testing out, that will loosely revolve around us being Adolf and our former jobs and this, that, and the other. But as you also heard, it'll be a lot of non-scripted satire, comedy, BS that will just cover random topics and other nonsense. We are going to be asked that we kind of get a little bit of audience participation there, which we do have on this pod today. But send us any topics you want to hear us talk about, any jobs you think that we would be good for, or just want to hear us discuss. Because we are going to try this out. We're going to try to make this like a 30, 40-minute pod one time a week. We're looking to try to have it drop maybe on, as I'm talking, my LinkedIn and alerts start to come through. So that's how you know that I'm officially laid off. But we're trying to have it drop.
Your profile.
Thank you. That was the alert then. We're going to try to have this drop every Friday because it's payday. So why the hell not have it drop on Friday? For all of you listening at home, in your car, or at work. Bunch
Mm-hmm.
And that's about
You
it.
can listen to it in I-4 traffic, which I don't have to sit through anymore because I get to sit at home all day and work from home.
Very, very true. You gents got anything else before we move on?
No, you got a job?
Not yet.
All right, well, we're good.
I've applied for a lot of jobs, but
Numerous, yes.
Numerous jobs. But we will have a section each week on the pod called the Classifieds. So it's kind of where we'll kind of scroll through either the LinkedIn alerts like I just got and the weird jobs that pop up with that, or weird jobs that we saw that are possibly open, or a job that maybe is not open because times are very weird right now and a lot of jobs, may not be posting at this time. And we will pick one a week and kind of describe why we think that we would be good for that job, even how ridiculous it could be, and what our like mission statement for that job would be.
Well, time out, because I had gotten one. It was in my email, so I'm looking at it now. And it caught my eye because I was like, "There's no freaking way that this just got sent across my platform," and it was for a beekeeper.
A beekeeper?
A beekeeper. So in the role that I previously held, I can firmly say that I have no qualification whatsoever to become a beekeeper, other than just playing in the woods as a child. I don't know why that came across.
Yeah, why? Like, was there something on your LinkedIn, Glassdoor, whatever job, Indeed search that like you're pre-qualified to be a beekeeper?
I could probably rock the hell out of the outfit.
You're sweet as honey, dude. No,
That's the most dad joke I think I've ever heard you say. By the way,
he is the only dad of us, so I mean,
that's
I guess
true.
That works.
Yeah. Two-time
What?
Two-time dad champion.
Two-time.
Attaboy.
18 years apart.
Scumbag.
Wow.
It's like a Flyer Stanley Cups.
That's true. What? How?
And I'm trying to find it, but I can't.
Like, what exactly?
I think I deleted it.
Well, what exactly do you like? What's the beekeeper outfit? Like, are you wearing? Because I know, like, the mask, right? Everybody knows, like, the helmet that you put on that prevents bees from sticking out of your eyes. But what is the rest of the outfit? Are you wearing like a
It's like a hazmat suit?
Yeah, like a canine dog type suit where you're padded from like head to toe to where they can't get in? Or
No, I don't think you need that. It's literally just a hazmat suit. Pretty easy. And I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering because you know how the FBI is all in your phone and they listen to everything you talk about and all that fun jazz.
FBI, you mean Facebook, essentially.
Correct.
They own like everything now.
Well, my mom, she's like Mother Teresa, Snow White, like always bird feeding deer, cranes, coyotes. I don't freaking know anymore. But for her birthday, I am getting her a beekeeping house or I don't know if you've ever seen it, but like I saw it. It's called Flow Hive. I don't know. I'm not like sponsoring.
Flow Hive?
Flow Hive.
Is that like insurance?
Sponsored by Progressive.
Yeah, exactly. Is that insurance for beekeeping?
Hear me out. It's actually a badass concept, okay? Because someone who drinks tea, aka me, I love honey in my tea. So this little contraption is like a homemade bee house, and I want to say it was on Shark Tank or something like that, but anyways, it's a homemade bee house, and like all these bees, they go. It's a beehive, sorry, but all these bees go in there. They create honey. So, but they're like a plastic artificially made hive, and when it's when it's ready to harvest all that honey, all you have to do is flick a switch at the bottom of the hive, and all of the combs just like go into a like jagged, or they basically just disassemble, and the honey just pours out, like it flows out.
The bees are all electrocuted when that switch is pulled, but everything comes down.
Yeah, it kills all the bees.
Yeah.
Is that even a fair way to do it? Is that fair to them? Is that fair to
Yeah,
you
because
for
they're
getting?
worker bees. Well, how do you think we get honey?
Well, yeah,
Is
I
it
know,
fair?
but like,
How do we get meat?
I
Is
know,
it
but
fair to
those
the
are done
cow
by
that
like
got slaughtered?
professional. But those are done by professional people, not some laid off person in Orlando that wants to buy it for his mom. That goes, I think this would be great. Next thing you know, there's a power outage. It shocks all the bees. You end up killing like 30 bees, and unbeknownst to you, it's a city ordinance that you can't kill 30 bees at one time. So now you're laid off and in jail because you bought your mom a beehive. A fake beehive.
Well, hang on there, fella. We just got off subject. I said this is the reason why I probably got an alert for a beehive or a beekeeper job. I don't freaking know. But anyways, it came across my email. I regardless, I don't feel like I'm qualified for that. Like, no, I'd get stung. I'd have to go to the hospital. I'm allergic to bees or whatnot.
You think murder hornets have the same,
What the
whatever
hell?
they wear? You haven't heard about the murder hornets? Come on.
No.
Oh, that was during.
You've
That was
heard of
like
them, right, Phil?
that was phase 2 of like COVID era. It was
Wait,
like
what?
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Murder
So it was
hornets.
like Kobe Bryant's death, COVID, then murder hornets,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I can't remember like phase 4. Okay, so I guess this was phase 3. But yeah, the murder hornets. You don't remember those?
No.
They come from Japan?
Not everything derives from like overseas. No,
No,
but
this one actually does. It's either Japan or China. It comes from the eastern part of the
the
continent.
Wuhan murder hornet.
Something, yeah. But they're massive hornets and they will kill humans. But what they
I'll look
typically
it up real
do is
quick.
they
Go
will
ahead.
they've got these giant pinchers on top of their heads, their faces, and they will take honeybees, rip their heads off, and eat them. I mean, these things are no joke. They will decimate the bee population. That's crazy.
You were right. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
Asian.
Wait, are they
Yeah,
like?
you're right. They're from Japanese. The Japanese
told you,
giant
dude.
hornet,
I'm the
also
current
known
events
as
guy.
murder hornet.
Are they like genetically made, or is this like, because isn't lightning bugs weren't those, didn't that start from
No,
the
no,
test
no, no.
tube? Like what was
No,
it?
No,
no,
those
that-
are
you're
love
thinking
bugs.
of love bugs. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, love bugs.
that was from University of Florida. Go Gator.
Provided Gatorade, Tim Tebow.
Gatorade,
No,
Tim
no, no.
Tebow,
See, I'm a
lightning bugs. The only good
Throwing
lovely
things that came out of Florida.
Yes.
UCF
Oh,
fan.
nice, baby.
Which I have my next flag. It comes in tomorrow. I think I got my Arsenal flag coming in.
Penn
Oh, yeah.
State, baby. Penn State.
Penn State hockey at that.
Hockey.
I have. I
was
have
the goalie.
built- Were you really?
No.
Oh,
Come on.
Okay.
Back in the 50s.
Behind me, I have a bar shelf that I built in my house.
It looks very level.
He recently leveled it.
Yeah,
I know that.
because I mean, I spent so much time doing this damn thing, and I was like a quarter inch off of what it was actually supposed to be.
Not surprising.
And I measured it like 50 times, and it was a
I
quarter inch
believe that.
off. So
Measure
I had
twice,
to-
cut once.
I
Tell me,
only measured
Ferris.
once. Yes,
Do you own a level?
I do now.
Your
There he
phone has
is.
a level. The iPhone has a level.
Yeah, but I have a case that's not level with the level, and like most of the phones now are all round shape. They're no longer that square shape, so it makes it.
This man in the
Doesn't actually
past
work.
year did not own a drill, a ladder,
Correct.
a level.
Correct.
And look at him now. Look
I've lived
how
in an
far he's
apartment my
come.
entire life. So now that I recently moved, not recently, but back in May, moved into a home, I bought my first drill, and that was like the best moment of my life. A good quality drill is amazing. It
You didn't
changes
even
your
want to
life.
use it for your fence.
I just want to use it for everything. Like if that
I
thing,
asked you to use it for your fence, and you said no.
I know, but I was dumb. I was not. My eyes weren't open to a drill world. In a drill world, anything is possible.
In the drill world.
All right, we are so far off topic.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, boy, sorry, but you did miss that. Like I had to go over to Ferris's house. What did we do? We watched. What game
Watched
we
the
watched?
game.
Oh, the Rams game. Brands game, a United game or whatnot, but he asked me for help with this fence.
Oh yeah.
This fence is like in his backyard. It's like toppled over. He's afraid of his dog getting out. And we're sitting there trying to like rig it up just to where it stays up. He's got bag of rocks like all around it.
He's got World War II ammo buried in his backyard. How should that be a surprise?
World War II ammo buried back there. But anyways, we're trying to hold this damn fence up that keeps like collapsing. It's like disintegrating with every touch that we have. What do we use? We used some vines that we took from his backyard tree to hold up one side. And then he has
a irrigation hose that was buried underground that we tried to dig up.
No. This is not a irrigation hose. This is a hose from like that leads straight to hell, because we tried yanking this thing up, and I tell you, I can't. We put so much force into just ripping this thing up, and it would not come out of the ground. It's like buried underneath another tree, and it's like connected to some roots and whatnot.
Absolute pain in the butt.
Not even a pain in the butt. The thing's indestructible. So, anyways, we screwed that hose on the other end of the fence. With
you lost me a screwing hose.
Oh,
sorry.
Damn it, boys.
Sorry.
There he is. There he is. Welcome to Why We're Laid Off, everyone.
Exactly.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So
Bad Santa.
Bad Santa.
Yes.
That says it all. That was great. So Phil, you don't think you would be qualified for a beekeeping job?
Oh yeah, sorry, we got really off topic there.
Wow.
What like you have to have at least a mission statement as to why you wouldn't be qualified for that
mission statement as to why?
Why you like would or wouldn't be?
That might be why we're unemployed. I mean, we go into interviews and they're like, "What's your mission statement?" And we're sitting here, why wouldn't I be
qualified? Gotta have one with every job. So, what would yours be for that job?
That's a good question. I don't know. I genuinely feel like I just would not be good for that job. It's not something like I'm great outdoors. I'm great. I feel like I'd be good with bees. I think it'd be cool to harvest like honey. Like I think that'd be badass, but I feel like that would be like more of a hobby, not a actual job. I would be okay with like one hive, but like going to someone's house and like taking these bees, like, you know, like how they have like random hives like up in the attics and whatnot, and there's like millions of bees. Not to mention, how do they find the freaking queen? How do they find this queen bee? You see them, like, I don't know if you've seen like TikTok or whatnot. They have like some TikToks that like show like queen bees or what. Now they like show a camera amongst like thousands of bees, and they're like, "Haha, do you see the queen?"
Well, they're probably not around anymore because Boyce's Japanese killer bees probably killed them all off.
Or they're mating with them
and
hornets, making murder honeybees.
That'd be like the most indestructible bee ever.
It's gangster.
All right, so
but they make some pretty badass honey.
That would be So your mission statement is, I would like to harvest bees to make some badass honey.
I mean, yeah, we can go with that.
Lovely.
I'm good with that. Thank you.
I think I would be a good beekeeper, actually. I'm like,
you're already a giraffe.
Exactly. I'm a beacon to draw in queen bees, right? To draw in all sorts of bees that are their friends that want to come to the pinnacle that is Ferris, to where I lead them to their home to derive honey from their home.
That's how serial killers work.
For bees?
That is true. What I feel like bees is just like another word for women or children. Like I don't understand what you're getting at here.
That's definitely not where I was going with that. I can promise you on that fact.
I feel like Liam Neeson's going to be after you here in a second.
He's coming out with a new film, by the way.
He is. Look at him. He's
the rifleman or the sharpshooter or the something or other. Anyways, his daughter's captured or something like that. I don't know. But so I do think I would be good. And my mission statement is I would be a pinnacle for the queen bee.
Okay. Did you look at there? I got a package in. Be right back.
Boyce, why do you think you would be or not be, according to Phil?
When I was a kid in Pennsylvania, we had a neighbor that lived 2 doors down from us. And they would have these contests for catching bees in jars. So if you got a typical worker bee, it would be 10 cents per bee. If you got a Wasp, it would be 25 cents per bee. If you got a queen, it would be $1 per bee. And for whatever reason, our neighbor had this whole thing where the kids in the neighborhood would go out and try to catch bees and pay us for the level of bee that we caught. So we spent a lot of our summers with these jars just catching different types of bees. And another weird bee thing up north, I don't know if that happens down here, but there's hornets' nests that are below ground. Do they have them here? There'll be holes in the ground. You'll be walking through the yard or a field or whatever. There's a hole in the ground and there's hundreds of bees going inside and outside of this hole in the ground. So up north, they live underground. So we would take shampoo bottles, empty shampoo bottles, fill them with scalding hot water, and just squirt them down the holes and watch these bees go crazy. So my history with bees
you were the
is quite
killer bee
interesting.
in that.
I was. I was the murder hornet.
In that example.
Yeah, I was a 5-year-old murder hornet. But that's my experience with bees. So in terms of nurturing and harnessing bees, I'm probably not your best bet because we captured and killed up north. Phil got a flag.
Fair enough.
Spoken
Phil did
into
get a flag.
existence. I told you I spoke into existence.
Sorry. Boys, thank you for that that story. I didn't know that you
Speak
murdered bees as a kid. There's probably some Pennsylvania state law on that, but
Scumbags.
yeah, scumbags.
I don't think there is.
I have no clue. There has to be. Like, everything is protected. Like, you can't listen to music past 834 in some areas above a certain decibel. So there's all these weird ordinances and laws, and I'm sure there was something about bees. There has to be, or else you can't just
According
do whatever
to
you
your
want with
neighbors.
bees. So you have
According to your neighbors.
some sort of
Mhm.
guidelines to bee control through the animal services or however. I don't know.
Now more so than ever because the bee population is being completely
Correct.
decimated. It's
My point
big time
exactly.
now.
Thank you. Yes,
Once the bees go, the humans go because that's our entire food supply.
that's depressing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we on a little bit of a side note, you did hear us talk about what we're wearing and what's behind us and all of that. Fun fact, we have not said this yet, but this podcast will also be a simulcast in a way. We will be posting this onto our YouTube channel, which we will share via social media channels and make sure everybody's aware. So if you want to see our ugly mugs and see our reactions and our makeshift studios and whatnot, you can go to YouTube and watch us as well, or just have it on in the background while you're doing work. Piss off, but yeah.
You're so salty.
Well, sue me. When's the last time you heard that?
You can't joke about that anymore
No.
because people will.
Yeah, I know exactly. It used to be a joke. It no longer is. But as we kind of said earlier, this will be a audience participation type pod as well. And our other segment we'll have on this podcast is called "What's the Topic?" or topics, depending on how many we have and the amount of time that we have. But this week's topic was sent into us by Mr. Chris Roberts via Instagram. His handle is CRoberts0605. Thank you, man. Chris is somebody that I actually worked with for a while at. Still very talented and good dude. But he asked us, gents, I want to hear what everyone's favorite trilogy of movies is and why.
This is hard. That's what she said.
This is hard.
Listen,
Yeah, that's true.
I've done my research on this and I've got my own opinions that I went into it with. You've got website after website giving their top list of all time. And mine came down to two of them. And I'm still so torn on these two. So it's a very, very subjective topic. It's all about your personality, your interests, what you're into.
Correct.
Lord of the Rings is obviously one of the top ones on every single list you'll find. Not my thing.
Not my genre. Only trilogy that is 24 hours long.
I haven't watched
it's
a
worth
single
it.
one.
Movies are, oh my god.
It's worth
not
it.
watched a single one.
Phenomenal.
No
It's
way.
like, to me, it's like Dungeons and Dragons on a big screen without the 20-sided dice.
Correct.
But they slay the dragons.
It's not my
So
thing.
does Harry Potter.
I have only seen a couple of those, which is probably why I'm laid off.
But
too.
it's not a trilogy, though.
That's true.
But how many trilogies really are there now that they have not remade
True.
or they make like prequels, sequels? Like, how many trilogies really are there anymore?
There's a lot. If you look it up and you research it, there's a lot.
There
You
is.
got
So
it.
okay,
Shut up with your research. Okay,
so are
cool.
we going with your answer has to be a defined? There has only been 3 films, or I mean, I don't care how we do it, but
One of the exceptions I would make is Star Wars, and
Fair
Star
enough.
Wars
Fair
is
enough.
one
Okay.
in my balance of
Okay.
one or the other. Star Wars, obviously, the first 3 came out in 77 and 80 and 84, I believe, were the 3 years for that, and then the massive gap in between. So
yeah.
that's a thing in itself. Star Wars was, I mean, that changed the entire film industry from a special effects standpoint, from the fact that grown men can now play with action figures and feel okay about it. Star Wars was a game changer. So for me, from beginning to end, either one of those 3 movies, you can flip in the stations at any time. It's on. Right. You can watch it. The sets, the characters, the storyline.
I'm right there with you. Yep.
Yeah. But
I'm sorry, I can't get off the fact that now I just picture Boyce with like a Jabba the Hutt and Princess Leia action figure.
I'm not one of those guys. I'm not an action figure guy.
Recreating this scene.
1988.
Yeah.
Here he is as Luke Skywalker.
That scene is Spaceballs.
Girlfriend at the time is Princess Leia in that Return of the Jedi outfit. Yeah. 100%. You have to have that photo somewhere.
Yeah. But from a weighted average, my all-time favorite is The Godfather. Godfather 1,
yes,
Godfather 2, absolute, my favorite movies of all time by far.
Yeah, three brings that down, though.
3 sucks. That's my problem with it.
Yeah.
If you're looking from a trilogy standpoint, from beginning to end, The Godfather is just weighted so heavily in the first 2, the third one just trails off. It's like it's
100% agree with it. Yep, that is an awesome.
But
and
overall, that the Godfather trilogy by far, it's my thing. It's the mafia, the crime families. It's the American dream. You're an immigrant coming from Italy, and the American dream is to make something of yourself, and you made this gigantic crime syndicate that rules basically the entire East Coast. I mean,
amen, brother.
Yeah, that's
right there with
that's my answer.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Phil, what you got?
Well, now shit all over Lord of the Rings.
You can still say that. That's your opinion.
That is my opinion. I love Lord of the Rings.
Boom. Then make that your if that's your favorite one, that's it.
Your thing.
Yeah.
It is, but like I said, at one point everything was a trilogy. Everything had a trilogy.
But that's still a trilogy. I know they made like The Hobbit and that sort of stuff, but does that have anything necessarily to do with it? I don't really know the answer to that. Like, is The Hobbit a prequel? Is it a?
I believe that's part of its own trilogy series.
Oh, okay.
From the research I've done on trilogies, the
really
Lord of the Rings is a trilogy, and The Hobbit has its own trilogy.
I read the book in school, but I don't know how like Lord of the Rings plays into this, but if it does at all. Like, my point is it like a Star Wars where you have the offshoot of what was the Skywalker film that came out? That was just a Skywalker film that because Skywalker was a character in the Star Wars films.
I think you're thinking of Solo.
Or Solo. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the Solo film. So is like The Hobbit one of those where The Hobbit plays into the Lord of the Rings, but here's his story? Hello,
Phil.
Do you know the answer to this? Because I don't. I'm seriously asking.
How have you not watched these?
Because I don't have. Well, now I have all the time in the world, so I
exactly.
Could,
I don't want to hear. I didn't have the time.
Prior to that, I'm not about to sit down for 48 hours to watch
like
3 freaking movies. Yeah.
Horror films aren't your thing. You're not watching horror films. Dragons and Fantasyland.
True.
After I hear what you watch on your Netflix, you're watching Lord of the Rings. You're watching everything start to finish. You're watching everything. After I have heard what you watch on Netflix, I'm not going to mention what you watch on Netflix.
I will say it. I will say it. There is a documentary. I love a good documentary on Netflix. I love a good documentary on Netflix. Yep. They make fantastic ones. There's one called Life After Porn. It's a good documentary.
I've seen that one, but I'm always afraid that my wife will see that in the recently watched list.
Jump to conclusion.
It's not like it's super explicit. It's not. Think about it. If you watch Game of Thrones, that is more than what this was. Like you see more. There's more that happens in like a Game of Thrones episode than this, because they don't go full porn in this, but they do describe it. Take like 3 or 4 porn stars, past porn stars, and they kind of show how they got there, what their life is about, and afterwards. And it's actually quite sad about what some of these people go through and what, like, after they're done with it, what do they have? Because there's not like, you can't go into a job interview down the street and sit down at Walgreens and them ask you, well, what's your, what was your past jobs? Oh, I was a porn star. Oh, we were looking for that. You're hired in the cosmetics department. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Well, unless you're
exactly quite
Unless
sad.
you've tried that.
Well,
Have you tried that?
No. I mean,
Well, don't knock it unless you've tried it.
Well, but there's a lot of time right now, so it's I am laid off, so I could, but
They have
it's a good
OnlyFans now,
documentary.
go for it.
Anyways, so is Lord of the Rings? Are you sticking with Lord of the Rings?
I'm sticking with Lord of the Rings, locking
Okay.
it in. Final answer. Boom. Thank you.
No judgment, man. That's your thing.
No
And then
judgment.
Michael Ferris.
Oh, I
Yeah.
will judge, but I don't
won't
really
judge.
care that much. Okay, that's
Yeah, I
fine.
feel like Regis Philbin's over here just questioning me. Is that your final freaking answer? Yes, it is.
Do you want to phone a friend first, or?
I did a
As a
survey.
matter
of
of fact,
friends and
I
family.
don't.
I did a survey of friends and family about the trilogy, and a bunch of them came back with Lord of the Rings. I mentioned I hadn't watched any of them, and the responses were just insane. What the hell's wrong
You
with
were
you?
judged for that, so we can judge back.
Right. But
Yeah.
it's not my thing. It's not my genre. Everybody's got their genre,
Agreed.
their own style that they.
Agreed.
And that's not mine.
Yeah.
And there's no judgment for or against it.
I will actually go with. I will go with a trilogy that I loved as a kid, that I even loved in my adult life, because I actually used to work at an attraction themed off of this.
I know what
But
you're
the
going to say.
Back to the Future trilogy is fantastic. Just like
But it's-
if Star Wars is
Yeah.
on, I'm there.
Yep.
Back to the Future 1, 2, or 3, they're all great. 2's probably my favorite, but they're all great. I'll stop and watch all of it because they are classic. Keep the same characters. You understand the theme. It's not too complicated. Yeah, you're going back in time, but it was like one of the first of its time to like have this back to the, well, what you do then affects your future life, but it wasn't overly complicated. Like, have you guys seen the new movie Tenet?
No.
It's a Christopher Nolan film. Like, if you watch that, you walk away and you're like, what the just happened? It's confusing. It's good. It's very good, but it's confusing. Back to the Future wasn't that way. You understood it.
But there is one element of confusion. How does a teenage boy become best friends with a 70-plus-year-old disgraced nuclear physicist? Explain that to me. They go back to the past, right?
Next
They're
door
going back to the
neighbors,
past.
They met at
What
the
should
mall.
we call this
I don't
movie
know.
where they go back to the past?
Yeah,
Let's
but didn't
call
he
it
almost sleep with his
Back
mom?
to the Future.
He did almost
slept
sleep
with
with
his
his mom.
mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so
There's
I
a
feel
lot
like
of questions
that's a
about that
more questioning
Okay,
thing.
but
than-
it's not overly confusing. It's an entertaining watch that is very well done. And Christopher Lloyd and 88 miles per hour, the genre, turning a DeLorean into a time machine.
Life
Like-
after porn, or I went back in time to screw my mother.
Ooh.
That is the question.
Question.
That is the question. Oh, they're both good watches.
Yeah. You know
But
what?
like back to the Future, I wouldn't say it's timeless, right? Because like Star Wars is timeless.
Right.
Harry Potter's timeless.
No,
Lord of the
Back to
Rings, Lord of the Rings. But yeah, but it's not up to like the, if you're talking like the top 3, or you're talking about like the big boy club,
Mhm.
Harry Potter, Star Wars are in that big boy club.
Yep.
Lord of the Rings, I would probably consider in that big boy club. You have like those 3. Back to the Future for me is like on the second tier of that, where it's not quite there, but it's damn good and it's enjoyable, and you don't really hear a whole lot of people bash on it. It's just an enjoyable watch that is memorable in many aspects.
It was
Notable
enough for
mentions?
Universal to make a ride out of it.
Yeah, but they
That's
made a ride
pretty-
out of all sorts of stuff. So it helped that it was a Spielberg, film, or was it a Spielberg film? No, it wasn't a Spielberg film.
Time out. Why have
No,
they
no,
not
no,
come out with
it
an
wasn't.
ET 2? Why have they not made a sequel to ET?
I don't know. Ask
Come on,
Spielberg.
Alien.
That's who
Come
I was
on.
thinking about. Sorry, it is they've made ET out of a ride. They've done Jaws. They've done all those things. And Jaws, you could have said too, but I think there's like 4 Jawses now or 5 Jawses.
Yeah, but the same damn shark comes back or whatnot, or he
It's like a sister of a mother
Yeah.
that dated a mother, and
get out of
Honorable
here, Jaws.
then
Same
they
damn shark.
dated a queen hornet, killer hornet. So I mean,
Murder
we all
hornet.
it just comes right back
And
around.
made some bomb ass honey.
It's just we come
Honorable
full
mention?
circle with it all.
Indiana Jones is the honorable mention.
Yes, before they started to make the weird ones with
Yeah,
Shia
that
LaBeouf
one
and all
doesn't
that,
count.
which weren't terrible, but not as good as the originals. They were very, very good.
Another one that surprised me at the top of a lot of the lists that I saw was Toy Story.
True.
And I posed that to
Very
Mary,
Gotta love some Toy
to my wife
Story.
Mary,
true.
and she had
Very,
mentioned
very
Toy
true.
Story as one of her top. I think I saw the first one when my daughter was a little kid, but
Very,
have
very
not
true.
They don't
seen
have
the
more
other
than
two.
3? I thought they had 4.
I don't know.
I don't know how many they have. I thought they were up to like 6 or 7.
What?
Really?
No.
Yeah. It's like Buzz's
No.
Return,
No.
something, and yeah, because like Tim
Okay,
Allen and
they have
Tom
up
Hanks
to
have
4.
done. Oh, do they?
They have up to 4.
Oh.
And I should know that for my nephew's sake, but I don't. Yes, they have up to 4.
Interesting. I could have sworn they
Yeah.
had like 7 of those things, but I guess not. No.
It's interesting too when you look at IMDb. IMDb has a bunch of the trilogy lists, and they'll give you the first movie, second movie, third movie, and the ratings for each movie. And obviously, as each film goes on, the ratings diminish. So anything past 3 is typically garbage. When you get to the third movie of a trilogy, I believe it's typically tends to edge on the verge of mediocre. But anything after 3, you're just milking it. Fast and the Furious.
That's true. We watched The Fate of the Furious, which I don't know where that
Imagine if they
was.
made a ride out of that.
Oh my god.
That would be horrible.
Heard it
Be a
was great.
Dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire.
Anyways, before we get ourselves into trouble, that was the Laid Off Lads podcast. It's kind of what you can expect from this weekly pod.
I'm so
We're usually
sorry.
going to shoot for, yeah, we're very sorry. But our goal is just to provide everybody with some entertainment, some laughs, some fun. Our goal will be to try to get this out every Friday, anywhere from a 30-minute to 45-minute podcast. So you can follow us at Laid Off Lads on Instagram, which I believe is just at Laid Off Lads. We recently started a Facebook group, so it's just Laid Off Lads on Facebook. We have laidofflads@gmail.com if you want to reach out to us on email. And Phil, what's the YouTube channel that we're going to start?
Laid Off Lads.
We're very simple with the name.
We're real creative here.
We're very simple with the name.
Very well creative.
But by the time you listen to this, hopefully we'll have that channel up and live as well. We are laid off, so we don't have the best sound quality. We don't have the best video quality. We don't have any money to do this. We are just doing this via a virtual meeting site that people used a lot during the quarantine time. So that's what we're using for the audio and for the video. But thank you all very, very much. Thank you for your support and the well wishes and the follows, the likes, the comments, the messages. Thank you again to Chris Roberts, who sent us that on Instagram today. And thank you all very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Laid Off Lads podcast. And if you're hiring, well, you know where to find us.
All right, and we are recording. You gents all set?
Cheers.
Sure.
All right.
I'm actually out of beer.
Ah, Jesus, dude.
Do you want to go real quick?
All right.
I just went pee. Okay, hang on.
Quickly.
I just went pee too. It should have been
You
like
can
a
just start.
minute.
I'll come back. You're good. Go ahead.
Well, no, you have to be on the screen in order to defeats the whole freaking purpose.
Professional.